Across the studio, Catalina is with us for Media Watch. Good evening.
Hi, Mark.
The trial continues of the alleged accomplices of the January 2015 terrorists. And of course, those include the two brothers who attacked Charlie Hebdo and the offices there. Their accomplices. There have been new death threats to the magazine Charlie Hebdo.
Yes, we will start by taking a look at an open letter that was co-signed by more than 100 French media organizations, including France 24. This open letter was published by Charlie Hebdo today following these new death threats. The purpose is to back Charlie Hebdo and to defend freedom of speech as well, following these new death threats to the magazine. They say here in this open letter that today in 2020, some of you are threatened with death on social media. When you express singular views, media are openly identified as targets by international terrorist organizations. The magazine is receiving death threats as they have republished their controversial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, and they have been doing this in order to mark the start of the trial over the January 2015 attacks on Charlie Hebdo and the kosher supermarket that killed 17 people. The death threats, they have received death threats from Al-Qaeda, but also Charlie Hebdo's human resources director told Le Point magazine that she had to be rushed out of her home after she received death threats that were sufficiently concrete to be taken seriously. And she also said that at a daily basis, they have to constantly deal with a crazy amount of hatred surrounding Charlie Hebdo. So the trials are expected to last a total of 49 days as the country and survivors reopen the wounds from the 2015 attacks. Mark.
Indeed, and the trial is set to continue until the middle of November, I believe, of those 14 accomplices of those January 2015 terrorists. The three main perpetrators, of course, are dead. And of course, as you say, the wounds are still open. In many, many ways. Let's move on and talk about the UN General Assembly. Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil, his speech online, provoking certain reactions. Tell us what you found.
During his speech, Bolsonaro said that Brazil is victim of a huge misinformation campaign. This is regarding the international coverage of the Amazon fires. He says that the media is doing this in order to damage Brazil's image, but also that Brazil has been wrongly portrayed as an environmental villain. His critics were quick to pick his claims apart. Greenpeace underlines two issues in particular that they claim to be untrue, saying Bolsonaro denies Brazil is burning and blames indigenous people for fires in the disturbing speech at the UN.
Indeed. I know of at least one Brazilian footballer who disagrees with Bolsonaro completely, and I think he represents many who actually sort of think that their president has the wrong idea. Are we moving on? Flights to nowhere?
Flights to nowhere. This
is intriguing.
Right.
Tell us about this.
So this is trending right now. This is for people who have missed flying due to the coronavirus pandemic. It's flights that have selling out, and people are buying flights for scenic flights that land where you depart. An example of this is Qantas Airlines. They have offered this range of flights that sold out in less than 10 minutes. Their flight will be departing Sydney on October 10th. No passport or quarantine needed, and you could visit some of Australia's most iconic landmarks. This was apparently the flight's fastest selling flight in the airline's history. An example of their price range includes 6 tickets available at a bit more than $3,000 each. But of course, many people pointing out how bad this is for the environment.
6 tickets at $3,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
6 tickets available at $3,000 each.
A specific market then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not budget stuff, is it?
Not budget stuff, but it is obviously bad for the environment, but
it's
appears to
awful
be
for the
very
environment,
popular amongst flyers.
Okay.
Mark.
Catalina, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, Catalina, with Media Watch.